Hi there, my name is Kenneth Stahl, and at many points in my life, people have told me, Kenny, you need to go get help for what's going on inside your head. You are not right, you're depressed, you have anxiety, you have all these issues that need to get resolved. Go get them resolved, go get help from a doctor. So out of my own stubbornness, my own ego, self-pride, I said I don't really think that I need to go to see somebody. I don't think I'm in that type of condition. I'm okay, I'm fine. But as the saying goes, if you deny that you have a problem, that's the first sign that you have a problem. But I just couldn't believe it, so I've done a little bit of an investigation where I'm trying to figure out how to define therapy and understand why therapy is so important and whether or not it's effective for people like me. The conclusion that I've reached is that therapy is what helps you recover and it helps you heal from a tragedy or from a negative circumstance in your life where you are engaging in self-destructive behavior. Or in other words, as I like to think about it, as if you're going in the wrong direction and you're not turning around, you're not doing anything to get better and to help yourself, then you need some sort of help from some other support like a therapist. I think that therapy is designed to get you going in the right direction. I mean, think about it. It's all about healing. If you have a broken bone, if you have a physical injury that you need to get healed, it takes time. It's a long process, but taking steps to get to the point where you don't need crutches, you don't need a cast, you don't need anything. You can just function in regular everyday life like a normal person on your own, being truly independent and self-sufficient. I believe that if you're not at that point, then you absolutely need to get help. And I think that the best way for you to do that is to go to see somebody like a psychologist who can help you with cognitive therapy and help you develop your thoughts better, so you're not saying negative things like my life is terrible, like I'm never gonna get better, or if you're at the point where you're thinking about suicide, then it is absolutely necessary. A couple of years ago, I had a very bad case of depression, and as I realize now, depression is a real mental illness, and it's something that is a disease, and I never really thought of it as a disease, but it is a disease because there's something biological going on, first of all, but secondly, it's not something that you can just wish to go away. You can't just say, okay, I'm not going to be depressed anymore today, because it keeps haunting you, it keeps coming back. For me, having depression prevented me from even getting out of my own bed. I would literally do nothing all day. I would do things purposely to destroy things in my life. I would skip going to school, skip going to class, so I dropped out of college. And that was probably rock bottom for me. That is when things were really bad in my life. I ruined a lot of relationships that I had, and that was all because of this disease that I had. And I did end up going to therapy. That is something that I did go to, and it did help me. When I went to get help, one of the things that was offered to me was to go onto medication. Now, it is very true that there is something going on inside your brain with all the works and everything. I don't know, synapses or however you say it, and like receptors or whatever. So getting that chemical inside of you, that consumption of a chemical that goes straight to your brain, it'll help with that if you need it. But some people are not able to do the cognitive therapy, which is all about saying what you feel and then being able to realize by being self-aware and putting yourself as realizing that you are not what your thoughts are, and you can help yourself by training yourself to realize when you say something that is not true. Like if you say I'm ugly, like that's just a belief. That's not a good belief, and there's no foundation for that to be real and true. And you can destroy that negative belief and replace it with something like I'm not ugly, I'm just me, and I'm attractive. I can be attractive if I believe I am. So by doing something like that, that'll help you get over some of the negative symptoms of having something like depression or anxiety or whatever it is that you have, just through that cognitive therapy. So and some people just can't do that. Some people are not people that can do cognitive therapy, so that's why they go straight to medication. It also helps if you have both at the same time. Studies have shown that that's the most effective. Another thing that's really effective, and I'm just going to throw this in there, is exercising, getting and eating right and sleeping right. There's a physical side of everything that helps you a lot. So just keep that in mind. I think it's at this point in the video when I need to make it known for sure. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm not a doctor, so I have no authority on these subjects. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research on what therapy is and how it can help you. I'm not trying to be a doctor. I'm not trying to give you the advice, this is the thing that you need to do. I am trying to figure it out for myself, and if you can listen to this video and have my thoughts go into your brain and they can help you, then that's great, because maybe you don't realize that you need help and you need to go to therapy, and this will help you. Or maybe you kind of know that you don't need therapy and you're looking for somebody who also doesn't believe they need to go to therapy to reinforce your own beliefs. And I don't want to be a negative influence on you. I don't want to prevent you from going to therapy. I strongly advocate therapy when it's necessary, but I'm also looking for an escape route, some way to not have to go to therapy. I was also going through some really deep thinking where I was facing these existential questions like, you know, what is the point to life at all? Why are we even here? You know, does anything matter? And I was thinking all these deep things, and I don't think that those questions are questions that identify somebody as being crazy or mentally ill. I think that those are reasonable, logical questions that people can actually ask. So how does one face the reality and awareness of their own mortality? I think knowing that I'm gonna die someday is enough to get me depressed, and how is therapy supposed to help me? Maybe I just don't understand therapy that well, but I just couldn't see it. I couldn't make the connection. So this is a good segue into what I want to talk about next, which is, you know, what really causes somebody to get to that point in their life where it's a crisis, where it needs to be something that is addressed. Your mental state needs to be addressed. What causes that? To be honest with you, I never believed that the cause of my state of well-being was anything other than being disappointed in myself. You know, I would see ads on TV and I would see things in real life, other people with these amazing lives, and I was just disappointed, honestly. I was disappointed in not being how other people were. I was very envious of other people in their lives, and I thought that that had a lot to do with it. So I thought that, you know, until my life was as good as my expectations were, until I was what other people were in some way, or at least comparable to them, you know, maybe not be those people, but be somewhere where I could say that, okay, I might not be that, but I'm okay with what I am. Until I was at that point, I didn't think that any amount of therapy was going to really help me, because it was all about, you know, what I had and what I did that was the most important. Recently, somebody, after watching one of my latest videos, asked me if making YouTube videos was my form of therapy. And you know, I thought about this a lot, and I came to the realization that yes, making YouTube videos is my form of therapy. This is a way for me to express my thoughts, to get my thoughts out there, to organize all my thoughts, just like what keeping a journal does for me, because I do keep a journal, and that is actually a technique that any kind of doctor will tell you to do in cognitive therapy. Keep a journal, record your thoughts, that way you can identify them. Alongside that, I've been doing a lot of studying about happiness, and happiness comes from, number one, seeing your own growth, number two, having good relationships with people, and number three, being able to see yourself make a difference in other people's lives. It's when you just willingly give things to people, it has this weird, crazy effect on you where it makes you happy. Giving to charity has been proven to make people happier. When I put out a new video onto YouTube, I believe that I'm making a difference in people's lives. Whether that's actually true or not, there's really no way for me to know for sure, but I really feel like I'm making a difference, so that makes me feel like my life is worth living. And having something to live for, I think that's one of the most powerful things in a person's life that'll maybe not cure their depression, but gosh, if it doesn't cure your depression, to have something to live for, I don't know what really will. If you're at that point where you have absolutely no motivation to do anything, and you're not doing anything, you're not taking any action in your life, you're not getting anything done, because it's almost like you're paralyzed. Maybe it's because of your own mental well-being. Whatever it is, I want to ask you what your reason for living is. What is your purpose? What is your calling? What do you feel like you can give to the world? And if you answered that by saying nothing, if you don't think there's anything, I think that's a good indication that you need help. that you need support from people to reinforce the positive belief that you can make a difference, that you can do something. Because maybe in that situation, what a person like that would need is support from friends and family. Just love. Just get love. If you don't have enough love in your life, that can bring you to a very dark place. And feeling lonely, like you can't do anything. I would hope that you have passion in your life. I would hope that there's a burning desire for you to get out there and do something to make a difference. If there's not, then find a way to gain something from your adversity and from your struggle. Find a way to understand the hell that you feel like you're going through, and to be able to figure out how maybe to not let other people go through that. Maybe you had a tragedy that you went through. Maybe you had a terrible breakup, maybe you lost your job, maybe your dreams were crushed, maybe you had a traumatic experience caused by another person. I don't know what it is, but I can understand that having gone through something like that will have put you in hell. If you're watching this video and you have hit rock bottom, I encourage you to use that experience to fuel yourself. Because if you don't have that desire, that burning desire to get better, because if you're at rock bottom, there should be every single ounce of energy in your body to wanting to get better, to wanting to escape that madness and chaos and darkness. And if you don't have that desire to change, then maybe you need therapy. I have no answer for you other than go to therapy, get some help, and find something that you love to do. And when you find what you want to do, when you find that you have a desire to do something, use that to do it. For me, it's making YouTube videos. I love to do this. I love to know that I'm making a difference. So remember what I said about therapy, that therapy, in my opinion, is something that is supposed to get you to the point where you can live on your own and function in normal life without needing any extra help. And once you're at that point where you can stand on your own 2 feet, everything is all about going in the right direction. Now, figuring out what direction to go in, that can be its own mess and it can be its own chaotic journey, but that is also what can make life so wonderful, is just being able to figure everything out. I've said a lot in this video. Not everything had to do with therapy, but everything in this video was supposed to help you. And if I'm leading you down the wrong path, I apologize. I'm not a professional. I'm just some dude who likes to share his opinions and get his thoughts out there. But if this video does strike something inside of you, if it does have something meaningful for you, some sort of value, then I hope that you'll like it and share it and make a comment on it and everything. And if you like me, if you like my thoughts and the way that I think and the way that I say things, if I really help you, then maybe you can subscribe to this channel and it'll help you even more. I honestly hope that you do that, but if you don't, I understand. Anyway, my name is Kenneth Stahl and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.